Right. So let me share my screen, guys. So I believe, like in yesterday's discussion, I hope everyone are clear. Like we had done the installations of Cypress. We had kind of obviously like uh, created one simple project wherein we have downloaded only single Cypress tool. And with respect to that, we had this node module folders which got created along with package.json and the package.json. Okay. So today we'll move to the obviously like the next step. Okay. In this. So let me kind of open our Cypress this thing. Okay, in this what we need to do now, so once we are done with the setup part, guys, what you need to do is you need to create or you need to write a command to open the Cypress, guys. Okay, so the command is very simple: npx cypress open. Okay, so step 3, guys, I'm repeating step 3. What we will do, we will open Cypress runner. So basically the whatever will open right now, that is something called as Cypress runner. Okay, so currently we are using version 13.13.3, which will be kind of getting displayed as soon as you open this Cypress. And if you notice carefully, we don't have any folder structure yet created over here. Okay, and even like you will see that some of the files, obviously those are missing. So as soon as you open Cypress for the first time via UI this thing command, that is npx cypress open, so it will check for the like versions, which version of Cypress is being installed. Here, this is the icon for Cypress runner, guys. And here you will see that we are having two sections. Okay. One is called as Cypress E2E testing and second is Cypress component testing. Okay. The logic is clear, like E2E testing is the one which we are as a QA, we will be kind of working most of the time. As a developer, the component testing is being done by the component this thing wherein all the unit testing, right, what developer does is kind of done using component testing module, guys. But over here we will be kind of purely working on E2E testing, where all our test case will sit inside our E2E folders. Okay, so at the top you will see the name of the project. On the right hand side you will see the, so if you remember, yesterday till yesterday the version was 13.13.3, correct? And today only there is a version that has been updated to 13.14.0, guys. Okay, so if you click on this update to 13.14, automatically our node module folders will get updated, guys. So yesterday, I think there was one question saying that, hey, how we can update to the latest version? You can just go to this particular drop down. Here you can kind of just click on to the latest version with which you want to update. Okay. And here is the documentation part, which will navigate you to again Cypress official doc page, guys. Okay. So here you will see the official documentations page. And on this side, we have the account creations which needs to be done for the Cypress cloud that we will see later on. Okay, so right now out of this two testing type, we will be kind of selecting E2E testing, guys. As soon as you select E2E testing, you can see that configuration files. Okay, so this is one time activity, guys. It will not happen every time. It is only one time. We just need to select the configuration file, which all file you want to kind of have it inside your Cypress project. Okay, so all these files are mandatory. You cannot say that I don't want this file, I'll delete this file. Okay, so all these files are mandatory, guys. So once you can see the code also, which is kind of present over here. Okay, so once you select this particular file, and please click on continue, guys. Okay, so as soon as you click continue, it will hardly take couple of seconds and it will ask us to take the browser which with you want to start your test case. Okay, so over here, let's say I'm selecting Edge browser with the latest version, that is 128. And once you select it, please click on start E2E testing in Edge. Okay, if you want to go back, guys, please click on this option. You will navigate back to the section where you will select the type of testing. Okay, after that, please click on start E2E testing in Edge. Once you do that, Edge browser will get invoke, and in that Edge browser, we will be kind of understanding the different test case which are coming by default via Cypress. Okay, so guys, this particular screen is called as the Cypress runner, wherein you can see that we are having few of the scaffold example specs. So this is purely for practice purpose, guys. And then on the right hand side, we are having something called as create new specs. Okay, so and one more thing here, you will have few options, guys. Debug, run, settings. Okay, so this all will be kind of getting used whenever we are kind of working with CI, so Cypress Cloud as well as CI. Okay, and over here we will be mostly working on the specs. Okay, so now the question is, what is specs? So in Cypress, the test case are actually named as specs. We call it as specs. We don't call them as a test case. We call them as a spec file. Okay. So if you are working on a spec file, means you are working on a particular test case. Here you can see that it is invoked right now in the Edge browser. So here you can see the version of the Edge browser, the latest browsers which are already installed in my machine. And here again, same thing, guys. You will see the complete documentations, right? It will navigate you to the documentations of the Cypress, write your first test. So it will navigate you to how you will write your first test case using using Cypress runner or using your VS code, guys. Okay. And on the right hand side, we have something like which is you guys will not have this name. Basically, you need to actually create an account on Cypress Cloud, with which your Cypress will get integrated. Okay. And once it's a one-time activity, once you do that, after that, you will kind of directly navigate to the screen. Okay. Now over here, guys, what we will do, we will kind of click on scaffold example specs, wherein it will navigate us to this examples, guys. Okay. Now these examples are coming by default with the Cypress downloads, guys. Okay. Like if we are downloading Cypress for the first time, correct? So everyone will see this example, which will be kind of getting integrated, guys. Okay. And then basically like all the files which you can see, right? So here, please understand the folder, guys. Okay. So here you can see that we are having Cypress slash E2E. So you can consider that as a folder, guys. Okay. Inside this folder, we have one more folder called as one-getting started. And inside that, we are having a file called as todo.cy.js. Clear, everyone? Anybody has any questions on this? Please feel free to unmute and speak up, guys, if you have any questions on this.
I have one quick question. So whatever these files, is it irrespective of any project? We have to load all these files?
These files are just for practice purpose. Basically, they have nothing to do with your project. I'm talking about
Mhm.
this file. If you are talking about the files which came prior to this screen, those 4 files, right? Those are
Mhm.
mandatory. Okay, those are required in all the project,
Okay.
irrespective whether you have any framework. Those 4 files are mandatory.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and right now for practice purpose, these are the one which Cypress has given from their official documentation. Once I click on OK, I got it. It will add all this file into, I mean, my project. Already it added, just you need to click on OK, I got it.
Okay.
So what happened, guys? Now here, this you can consider as a test cases. you usually call it as a spec file. Okay, so Cypress is a main folder. Inside that we are having E2E folder. Inside E2E we are having two folders. One is getting started and second is advanced example. If you want to execute any of the examples from, let's say, getting started, guys, you just need to click on todo.cy.js. Okay. So once you click on this, Cypress will invoke this particular test case from your VS Code, from your Cypress runner, and it will execute that into your Edge browser. Okay, so total you can consider like total six test cases. Okay, one, two, sorry, my bad. One, two, three, four, five, six. So total you can see like six green check boxes like checks. So it means that it has executed total six test cases. Okay, now over here, this particular URL, which is example.cypress.io, is a example URL which is provided by Cypress guys. Okay, now over here, if we need to understand each and every test case, just go to that respective test case, and that's what it is called time travel, guys. What do you mean by time travel? Basically, you can just see the screen, how it is looking when this particular step is executing, when this is executing, when this is getting executed. So that's what it is called time travel, guys. Okay, wherein you can check how the screens are actually looking. Okay, so here you can see we have second test case, correct? Again, this is something which is obviously showing up a second test case wherein it is entering some values. Okay, and this is a third test case, guys. Okay, so now over here, let us now jump to VS Code, guys. Okay, so ignore about this right now, how the code has been written, everything, because I told you already that these are the example practice which has been created by the Cypress guy, and they have added already into our VS Code, guys. Okay, they have already added in our VS Code. Is it clear, everyone? So now let us go to VS Code and understand the folder structure of Cypress. Okay. So one thing you need to notice, guys, over here, if you closely observe, this terminal section is kind of keep on running, guys. Okay, that's what Cypress is saying. This terminal section will keep on running if you keep on doing any of the activity over the Cypress runner. Okay, please remember this. Okay, now if you observe closely, over here, you can see that we have something called cypress.config.js. Okay, I hope you remember how this got created. Those four files, remember, right? One is this one, cypress.config.js. Second is command.js. Third is e2e.js. And fourth is example.json. Okay, so these are the four files which has been created when we were, let's say, when we are triggering the Cypress command npx cypress open for the first time. Okay, now the importance of this file I'll explain you. After that, we are having e2e folder, okay, which got invoked when we have added these scaffold examples, guys. Okay, and in this I have executed this particular file, and over here you can see that we are having some code and obviously green lines. So green lines are nothing but the comments, and the one which is like without green, those are the actual Cypress command which has been written for executing total 6 test cases. Okay, so I'll discuss this in detail. Before that, let me explain you the folder structure. Okay. Okay. So Cypress folder structure comprises of Cypress as a main folder. So guys, please remember, it is not that we cannot change this name. You can change, that's not a problem. Please remember, wherever there will be config getting used as a folder, over there also you need to update this. Please remember this. Okay. Inside that we are having E2E, guys. Inside this, we are having E2E folder. If you think that I need to change or update my E2E name also, that is also possible. Okay. Inside that, you can have the test cases, or you can have the folder. In that, you can have the test cases. Okay. So usually, let's say you are working on a project wherein your project had, let's say, let's say payment related test cases, merchant related test cases. I'm just giving an example, guys. Don't get confused. These are some folders which I am creating on inside E2E, guys. Okay. So payment is there, merchant is there. Okay. So these are, you can consider, let's say, few of the like folders. Let's say verify is there. Okay. Now, whatever payment related test cases will be there, guys, TC hyphen pay something something, whatever naming convention you will use, it will get added inside your payment folder. It will get added inside your payment folder. Okay. So all these are something, your file name or whatever the naming convention, obviously you need to understand. It will be given by your automation architect or a QA lead, guys. Okay. So over here, you will have merchant related test cases. So 001 TC underscore MER underscore 002 TC underscore MER underscore T003. Okay, so these are all the test cases which are getting added inside your merchant folder. Okay, similarly, you will have verify. So TC underscore VER 001, TC underscore VER underscore 002, and so on. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. And if you think that in merchant, I have, let's say, total 4 subfolder, it is recommended you to kind of create those 4 subfolder, and inside those subfolder, you can write your test case. Okay. Everyone are clear? Anybody has any questions on Cypress folder, guys? Cypress, E2E, and then you can have folders, you can have subfolders, so on, guys. Okay, that is again completely your choice. Next.
One quick question. Is there a restriction to create this folder structure? But I mean, or we can usually have under one folder with all the test cases, because when we try to test the regression test suite, we'll just click that folder and it will execute all the test cases underneath that folder.
Yeah, so there is no such a restriction. Okay.
Okay.
So Cypress is saying that if you want to trigger all the test case under E2E also, we have the
Mhm.
command. If you want to trigger all the test case under payment, we have the command. We can generate some specific command. Through that, it will only execute the test case which are belonging to payment. It will
Okay.
execute only test case which are belonging to merchant. It's again choice based how we use, like in like if you want to execute the complete suite, you will execute all the test case which are present inside E2E. That's what you will tell to Cypress.
Okay.
Okay. There is
Okay.
no
Got
such structure. Inside merchant, you can have subfolder also.
it.
Okay, that is also possible. Okay. The next point, the next folder is, guys, fixture folder. Okay, so I hope everyone are clear. Under Cypress, we are having one more folder called as fixture. Okay, so under Cypress, first is E2E, then I will talk about fixture. So here is the fixture folder. Now, guys, what is fixture basically? Fixture is responsible for having the test data. Okay, so whatever test data you want to use for your testing purpose, correct? All your test data will go inside your fixture folder of Cypress. Okay, now the concern over here is the test data can be in the form of JSON, can be in the form of CSV, can be in the form of TXT file, can be in the form of Excel, okay,
Okay.
can be in the form of XLSX. Okay. Now Cypress is having direct support for JSON. I'm repeating, Cypress is having direct support for JSON. For other support, that is CSV, TXT, or Excel or XLSX, we need to integrate or we need to download a third party plugin which is present over the node package module manager, okay, from their official website, that is npmjs.com. Okay, and only then there will be support for this particular section, that is CSV, TXT, XLS, XLSX. Okay, but Cypress is having direct support for JSON. So over here, please remember, we will work with JSON Pathfinder. I hope everyone are aware about what is JSON Pathfinder. If not, we will discuss that in detail once we kind of talk about the fixture folder, guys. So I repeat, fixture folder is purely responsible for managing uh, having all your, see guys, over here you can keep the PDF files also. It's not that I said that you need to, so even like I told test data, right? If you want to, let's say, upload some of the images which is required into your test case, you can have the PDF, you can have .mp 3 files, .mp4 files. Then let's say if you have something that you need to add as an attachment, JPG, correct? .png, all these files you can keep, guys, inside your fixture folder. Okay, so basically you can consider this will be let's say using this all things whatever I said inside fixture, guys, it will be getting used as a what, it will be used as a test data which will be getting used inside your above test cases which we have discussed, guys. Okay, so here if you want to, let's say there is a test case wherein I need to attach one attachment, so that attachment should be present inside fixture, guys. That's what the condition is. If you want to read the value from JSON, okay, in this particular test case, then that JSON value or that particular key attribute logic should be present in this JSON file. Okay, but obviously you need to write some command which will help us to read the value from the specific JSON file. Okay, so everyone understood the importance of fixture folder. It is purely responsible for getting the test data and the relevant information, relevant file which will be getting used into our actual test case. Next is support. In support, we are having two files. One is e2e.js and second is command.js. So guys, these are already a file. They are not folder. They are already a file. If you want to create four more file, you can create. That's not a problem. Okay. So if you want, you can create more this thing files, guys. Okay. Make sure the extension is .js JavaScript. Okay. So everything, all the files inside support will be .js. Okay. Now, what is E2E doing, guys? What E2 is doing? E2 is saying that whatever support you will require, right, for all your test cases, whatever is available inside your E2E, this particular folder, you can provide the required import statement, right? We usually write in Selenium like import java.util. Let's say array list, java.util. Link list, right? Those type of statement. So in this, in Cypress, we don't need to write into our actual test case. Okay. What we need to do, we need to directly write inside our e2e.js. So before invoking the test case, what Cypress will do, Cypress will check for the command which has been written inside our e2e.js, and it will automatically import all the statements, all the commands which is required for your test case to read the value from that required dependency. Okay, so now I'll give you just one example. Over here, I need to work with iframe. So over here, I will write import iframe, okay, in curly bracket iframe. Okay, so the name can be import Cypress slash iframe. It can be this name, okay, import Cypress slash iframe. Okay, so these are the import statement which we usually kind of provide. Import if you want to work with. Yeah, any questions? Import Cypress hyphen XPath. Okay, so let's say if someone is working with XPath, so what you need to say, you need to say import Cypress slash XPath. Okay, so whatever plugins or any dependencies which is required, guys, please remember, you can add or you can have inside the uh inside our e2e.js. Command.js is also responsible for same. It is responsible for same purpose, guys. You can either add in one of them, and it has some additional purpose to create some customized command. Okay, customized command. So when I say customized command, guys, basically you are aware about the reusable methods, guys. You guys know that if there is some steps that needs to be executed again and again, right? So what I can do is I can write that component inside my command.js. Okay, and I will call those command directly into my test case, so that those 7 steps, those 8 steps, those 9 steps, whatever we are writing again and again into our test case, we will avoid it, and we will have at one center location, that is command.js. So for example, in verify module, you have the steps for logging into the application and do the, let's say, you need to navigate to the verify page. Okay. So for that purpose, what exactly we need to do? We need to we need to perform total 6 to 7 steps for logging into the application and navigating to verify module. So what I will do, I will write one customized command. Okay, and that customized command is responsible for directly navigate to your verify page. So now in all this test case, I will directly call that particular command instead of writing those 7 to 8 steps, and it will navigate to that particular, like those 9 steps or 8 steps will be getting executed through that. Okay, so that's the logic of command.js. So you can create your customized command. If you want, you can override the existing command also. Okay, so Cypress is having a lot of commands, right? So if you think that I want to override some of the existing command, that is also possible, guys. Okay, so let's say I'll give you an example. cy.visit is the cy.visit is the method for kind of navigating to the particular URL in Cypress, correct? So what we can do, we can write cy.visit to be kind of override. Let's say your automation architect or your QA lead is asking to update the command, right? You don't need to use visit command. You need to use some other name. Okay, so you can rename that visit command to some other name, guys. So that's also available. Okay. Next is util.js, logutil.js. So basically, these are some additional plugins if there are any. Okay, so we can. So guys, these two are additional folder which I have created. Sorry, additional file I have created, guys. It is not required. Okay. If you want, you can create it. If it is, let's say, if it is not required, you can ignore it, guys. Okay. It's not mandatory. I'm repeating, it's not mandatory that we need to have this two file. Okay. So you can work directly with this two file only. That is also possible. Okay. So till here, anybody has got any queries, any questions? Yes,
Can you
everybody.
repeat is e2e.js once again?
Yeah. So
This one.
e2e.js, this particular file is responsible for handling, managing all the third-party dependency which may require into your project while working with the different test cases. Okay. Now let's say you want to upload something, correct? In Cypress, there is no direct command for uploading. So in Cypress, you need to install or let's say set up a plugin. So what you need to do, you need to go to the official page of Node Package Manager. Let me show that. npm file upload. So this is the Express file upload utility. Okay. So you can just search for Cypress file upload also. Okay. Over here, you will see how we need to import this into our current project. So this is the command which I need to trigger. And over here, you will see something called as this command. that we need to write either inside your command.js or you need to write inside your e2e.js. Both are fine. So I'll copy this and I'll go to this particular structure, and over here in this, you just need to update this. Okay. So all the third party dependency, whatever is required, guys, we will directly add inside our e2e.js. The reason for this is we will be able to use directly into our test case, any of the test case, guys. Okay, all the test case which are coming under Cypress, right? All the test case we will be able to use whatever command Cypress file upload is showing, we will be able to use in this all test cases. Okay, clear? So I hope everyone are clear with E2E, everyone are clear with fixture, everyone are clear with support. Now the next one is very important, that is called as cypress.config.js, guys. Okay. So let me talk about cypress.config.js, which is at the project level. Okay, please understand this is at the project level. So directly it is at this level, cypress.config.js. So, guys who were, let's say, working with Cypress previously, the name of the file was not this. Previously, it was index.js, guys. But with the recent version, that is after 10, okay, the name of the file has been updated to cypress.config.js. Okay. Now, over here, what you need to understand in this, whatever dependencies or whatever task command you need to create, right? So you can create inside this particular cypress.config.js. Okay, if you want to do some configuration changes, okay, configuration changes, okay, so those also you can do inside your cypress.config.js. Okay, so I'll just give you one example of configuration. What exactly mean by configuration, guys? Now, what Cypress is having the behavior, guys, if you see, I have executed this test case, right? And you can see that it is executed successfully and we are not having any error, correct? Now I'll go to Cypress, I'll go to E2E, I'll go to any of the folder, or let's say I can create a new test case over here as well. So guys, I'm repeating again, go to Cypress, go to E2E, inside E2E, you will see this symbols, guys. Okay, so in this symbol is basically for refresh. These two are very important. One is for creating a file and second is for creating a folder. Okay, so I'm creating one folder, guys, and the name of the folder is JavaScript basic. Okay, I have created one folder, guys, the JavaScript basic. Here I need to create one file, guys. Okay, and here I'm saying that just one simple example, guys. Okay, first test.cy.js. Okay, now the question is why I am giving .cy, why I am giving, obviously .js is understood because it is JavaScript. Why .cy? So if you don't give .cy, guys, what will happen? Try to understand this. So if you don't give .cy, now I have created the file, guys. Now you can go to Cypress. You can go to this particular option, guys. I am repeating this particular option, okay, which is below this button. Click on this, and over here, the folder which we created, guys, you cannot see right now. Why you cannot see? Because that folder does not contain any of the spec file. Because if your file has an extension of .cy.js, it means that it is having the Cypress test cases. If it is only .js, then Cypress does not understand that extension. It is a pure JS file. So what I will do, I will rename this file and I'll just make it to cypress.cy.js. Okay, now you will see that here our file has been updated. We got the folder and we can see the first test.cy.js. Okay, so it is mandatory to have this extension, guys, .cy.js. Okay, now I'll give you one quick example of this. In this, if you notice carefully, I'm just writing one describe, guys. Okay. What is describe? I'll explain you. Okay. And first test case. Okay. Okay. So guys, in Cypress, describe is considered as, you can consider, let's say, how we say, let's say test scenario, right? What is test scenario? Test scenario is nothing but, let's say, verify the login functionality, verify the purchase, like purchase item from the cart, verify the email functionality, right? So that you can consider as the describe block. Okay. So the describe block in Cypress would be as good as like the test scenario, what we are having. Okay. So I'm writing over here, guys. It is similar to, what we have, test scenario. Okay. Like I hope everyone are clear with the test scenarios. Okay. If anybody is having any questions on what is test scenario, please let me know. Okay. I'll explain that as well. So test scenarios. So describe is same as what we have test scenario in our manual testing. Okay. After that, you need to provide comma and please use function keyword, or let's say callback function. Okay. So this is called as callback function, guys. This is called as what, guys? This is called as callback function. So again, I'm repeating, 2 round bracket, equal to and greater than sign. Okay, so this particular symbol is called as callback function. Okay, after that, it block. Okay, so what is it block now? First test case. Okay, and it block, I would repeat, guys, it block is something. It is similar to, individual test case, individual test case. Okay. So I hope everyone are clear. What is it? It is nothing but single test case, single test case. Okay. So here you can just update this as first test scenario, first test case. Okay. Again, guys, you need to provide again either word called function. Okay. Either you can provide function word. Okay. There are two choices, guys. One says like either you can provide the function word, or let's say you don't want to provide function word, please use callback function. Okay. Please use callback function. Both are fine. Both are fine. Both are fine. So describe is something you can consider, let's say, similar to what we have test scenario. It is simple as like individual test cases. Okay. So I hope everyone are clear till here. Now I am writing one command, guys. That is command for navigating to a particular URL. Okay. Navigating to a particular URL. So we will take one example, guys. Let me take one example of source demo. Okay, I hope everyone are, let's say I'll navigate to this URL, that's it. Okay, so I will just update over here. So the command for navigating to a particular URL in Cypress is cy.visit. cy.visit. This is the only command. Okay, so guys, over here, what is cy? cy you can consider as a reference of Cypress. So Cypress is having one reference variable which is globally declared, and it is used in all the test cases which are present inside our E2E, not E2E, actually globally. Okay, and visit is a command, okay, which is responsible for navigating to a particular URL. Okay, so visit is a command which is responsible for navigating to URL. Over here, you can use single quotes, you can use double quotes, both are fine. Even the semicolon part is optional, guys. If you keep the semicolon, that is also fine. If you don't keep the semicolon, that is also fine. Okay, so our test case is simple. It will just navigate to one of the URL which is called as sourcedemo.com. Everyone are clear? Anybody has any doubt for the structure of this test case, what I have created, guys? Okay. So the question is whether describe is mandatory. The answer is yes. Whether it is mandatory, the answer is yes. Okay. So please remember these two keywords, whatever I have written, these blocks are mandatory. Okay. If guys, anybody has any queries, question, please feel free to unmute and speak up, guys. Okay. Now,
Hello.
go ahead, please.
Hello. Sorry for interrupt you. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, myself Ankit here.
Yeah,
Okay. So, my question is that we can have a multiple describe block or not in one JS block.
we can have multiple.
Describe block.
Yes,
Des-
we can have multiple describe block. Even we can have multiple it block also. Both are
and and we can use a nested it block means to say under the suppose we have a one it block and we want to mention one it block and in between the it block. It
yes,
is possible.
yes, you can do that as well. But there should be logical this thing, okay? Logical reasoning for that. Okay, what exactly you want to achieve. Okay,
Okay.
because whatever we do inside single it block, that is considered as a individual test case. Okay.
Okay.
But if you try to write anything inside again one more it block, that will also get executed, but you need to, I mean, have the clarity what exactly you want to achieve through that. If you are looking for some predefined value, or let's say before after logic like hooks concept, right? In that scenario, we will use the nested it, okay, if required. But the recommended or let's say the this thing is we usually have multiple it blocks inside single describe. That's what is the recommendation which is provided by Cypress.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So guys, over here, I was actually talking about one of the files, which is cypress.config.js, from where we have, let's say, moved to this particular file. Okay, so now you can see there is some random code in the terminal part, guys. This random code is obviously due to our Cypress runner is active and the Edge browser is active, guys. Okay, if you close them, again, the whole code, it will not, let's say, vanish, but it will remain. But here you will see something like Edge browser or something has been terminated. Okay, if I close this manually. Okay, now I'll go to this thing. Okay, over here, I will just click on this first test.cy. Okay, so as soon as I click, okay, it will navigate to this particular URL, which is sourcedemo.com. Okay, now try to understand what exactly I want to say here is cy.log. Okay, cy.log. This is the command for logging into output. Okay, so as soon as I do, guys, at the same time, my test is also running. Okay, so what exactly is happening, guys? As soon as I write anything, okay, at the same time, before kind of clicking Control S, your test is actually executing. Am I clear, guys, what I mean to say? So it is auto save and auto run. Okay, no need of saving it and then check the output. As soon as you update, okay, it is kind of running it. Is it clear, everyone? So now Cypress is having one setting inside our cypress.config.js. Okay, that is something called as watch for file change. Okay, I'll make this as false. I'll make this as false, guys. Everyone understood the reason why I'm making this as false? The reason is because obviously at the like as a QA, as an automation engineer, you will do a lot of changes at the test case, right? So I don't want to kind of like rerun the test case every time. Okay, that's what we usually do. So you do changes like multiple changes. After that, only you want to run your test case, right? So here you can see that we are getting one issue. Okay, so please remember, whenever you update any of the value inside your cypress.config.js, at that time you will get this type of error. Okay, what you need to do, you just need to click on try again. if you are sure that nothing is, there is nothing, no error. Yeah, Sudha, please go ahead.
Quick question. Can you go back to the test one more time? Yeah, so here under the describe and eat block, right? I see the lambda function. Is it really needed on this part, or is there a specific reason that we need this one?
This one, callback function.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, this is needed. This is mandatory. So
Okay.
choices. One is either to use the function keyword, okay, or else you need to provide this callback function.
Okay, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So please click on try again, guys. Okay. Go to your actual test case again. Perfect. Now what will happen, guys? Now if I do any of the changes in our code part, okay, now if I save this also, then also it will not trigger our test case, guys. So everyone understood the purpose of watch for file change, what exactly this is doing. This is not triggering your test case unless and until you manually click on that. There is a run button, guys, over here. Okay, so if you click on run, only then your test case will get executed, and this is the last line which we have added. Okay, so I hope everyone are clear with the configuration part, which I did just now for only one particular this parameter, that is watch for file change. Okay, so now the question is what this configuration, sorry, what this cypress.config.js file will contain, correct? So guys, I mentioned already that it will contains the command which is having the concept of task. I'll talk about task later on. Okay, what are tasks? Then we have something kind of configuration changes. Okay, so there are more than around 25 to 30 configuration parameter that we can set, guys, into our config.js file. Okay, so let me quickly go through the official documentation. Cypress configuration. So you can just go to this page, guys. Okay, so both are kind of same, guys. Either you can navigate to this or that. Okay, so this is something called as cypress.config.js, and this is for TS, guys. Okay, if you see, there are small manipulations with respect to syntax, otherwise both are same. Okay, so guys, whatever you can see global, right? These are all the options which you can provide into your config.js file. Am I clear, guys? So whatever you can see, the scroll behavior, wait for animations, animation distance, viewport height, user agent, right? All these values you can provide inside your which file, guys? Inside this file. Okay, so here if I want to, let's say, provide page load time, I can provide the page load time as well. Okay, obviously there is some default value of every parameter which is having which is available in cypress.config.js. But if you want to override those values, right, then you need to provide this parameter. So over here, if you see closely, we are having the width and height as 1000 into 660. So in Cypress, we call this as a viewport, guys. We call this as a viewport. So if you want to update this viewport, again, you need to say that viewport. Okay, so you will be able to update the height, you will be able to update the width. Okay, so accordingly, it will be getting updated not for single test case, guys. It will be getting updated for all the test cases which is present inside E2E. I hope everyone are clear with what I'm saying for config.js, guys. Obviously, in the coming session, you will see a lot of parameters, sorry, lot of configuration values, which is kind of getting updated over here. Okay, in the coming session. Okay, So
Can you again explain why third line, 3?
this one, sorry,
No,
third.
the third line. Yeah, this one.
So
Explain
module
more.
dot export is basically this configuration setting, whatever we are doing, right? That is applicable for all the test case which are present inside our E2E. So whenever we will create any new class, okay, like for page object, we will obviously create class, guys. At the end, it is mandatory to write module dot export. So what module dot export will do? So whatever configuration parameter we have defined inside this particular, because this is considered as one complete block, guys. Okay, so whatever we will write inside this, it will be by default applicable for all the folders, all the files which are present inside what E2E. Okay, so by default it will be applicable for all the files which sorry, all the test cases, all the specs file which are present inside this. Is it clear, everyone? It's the whole purpose of module.export.
Actually, how to handle viewport for all browser?
All the browser, you just need to provide the viewport width and height. Okay, and based on that value, right, whatever you will describe, correct, it will take that value over here, and based on the browser you have selected, it will set to that resolution what we are looking for. So in Cypress, we are having a command called as cy.viewport. Okay, cy.viewport. We will talk about that in the coming session. So this command will be purely responsible for what would be the resolution with respect to width and height. You can pass in pixel. You can pass, let's say, the name of the machine. Let's say if you are using iPad, or you are using, let's say, Samsung Tab or something, right? iPhone 12, iPhone 13, something, right? So you need to provide that value to this particular viewport. Okay. So here you will see that we are having this many options, guys, right now, which is available with Cypress latest version. Okay. So by default, it will set to that resolution. If I let's say provide Samsung Note 9, right? So my resolution over here will change to Samsung Note 9, but it will be only after line number 13, guys. Okay. So we will talk about that in the coming session.
So can we define in this code in config
Yes.
Cypress config? Yes.
Over here, you just need to say viewport height, okay? And you need to provide the resolution what you are looking for. But now again, I'm repeating, this viewport height and viewport width, whatever we will be defining, okay? That will be applicable for all the test cases actually. Okay, it is not for single test case. Now, if you want to override this value into your actual test case, then you need to again use the command called as cy.viewport. So it will override this value, whatever you have defined. Okay, so at global level, here you can define the value, that's not a problem. Okay, but again, if someone wants to check the result, sorry, someone wants to check in some other this thing, screen resolutions or something, right? So what they will do, they will update the test case with that particular command after this particular line. So this whole things will be getting executed with the config which you have provided. But as soon as I write cy.viewport over here, right, then the viewport resolution or pixel, whatever we will be providing, that will be updated. And all the subsequent steps, whatever we write after this, will be getting executed in that particular resolution. If you want to override the viewport values, okay, which you have given over here. Yeah, Lavisha, please go ahead.
I'm not clear with the first line. Like, is it necessary whenever we create these variable define config? So we every time the new variables we declare, we have to go define like with the first step.
This you are talking about?
Yes, with the first step.
See, this is coming by default as soon as you kind of configure Cypress for the first time. Okay. Now, please understand how we have like you can consider import in Selenium we have something, let's say I want to use array list, correct? So what is the logic? Import array list. So you can consider this as array list from which module? From Cypress. So now if I go little bit more in detail of this guys, you can see that Cypress is what? Module. Okay. Now go to node module over here. Everyone can see node module, correct? Over here, you can see we are having Cypress. Okay. So at the rate Cypress. Then if you see at the below section, everyone can see this Cypress guys. Okay. In this Cypress, you will see the command, okay, whatever is required. Just a second. So let me hover my mouse over that command because that is coming through either Chai library or Mocha library. So everyone can see this. It is coming through everyone can see it is present under /type/cypress npm api.td.ts guys. Okay. So this is coming through, you can say, this particular file. Okay. And this particular file is present inside node module. Okay. So if you don't write this, what will happen? Obviously, you will not be able to define the config. That's it. Okay. If you want to define config, then it is mandatory to import this define config into your cypress.config.js. Only then you will be able to work with the configuration parameter which is required for your test cases. Okay. And this name both should be same. That is mandatory.
And this is predefined, right? This is existing. Okay.
This is predefined. And even if I write something like const, okay, if I open curly bracket and let's say this define now. So this is something I'm like coming predefined guys. Okay. Now I need to understand what is the exact usage of this when I will use into my module config.js. Okay. But I need to know the usage first. Okay. Then only I will use the respective dependencies which are required for my actual test cases. So it can be anything guys. Okay. Here if you see that we are having test basics.js. So here if you see this is the read only code guys. Obviously we will not be able to kind of like we don't need to do anything with this. If I need to work with Lodash library, if I need to work with, let's say, Chai library, Mocha assertions, right? At that time, we might add some of the import statement at the top, okay, into our individual test case also. We hardly change this values, guys. Okay, please remember. Okay, we never update this values. We'll keep this as it is. But yes, we'll keep on adding the task function. Okay, those task functions, we will talk about that in the coming session. What are the task functions? Okay. Okay, so I think we are good. Anybody has any queries, doubt, questions, anything you want to highlight, guys? So I hope everyone are clear with cypress.config.js. Okay, and I hope everyone are clear with the folder structures, guys. Okay, now obviously in the coming sessions we will little bit go more in detail about describe and it block because I wanted to like make you clear with what are this actually into our actual test cases and how to create some custom commands. When I say custom command, because this package.json right now it is empty, guys. Okay, so we will create some scripts, guys, over here. Okay, based on that it will trigger the test cases. Okay, because right now we are working directly with the test case from here, guys. Okay, from your Cypress runner we usually can run or we usually can do the testing via terminal as well. Okay, irrespective of this. Okay, so we will talk about that in the coming session. So yeah, I think we are good. Anybody has anything to, let's say, query questions?
Yeah. Actually, what is getting started in advanced example below E2E folder? So what is the meaning? So what
Yeah,
is
so these two were the sample example, correct? Which I have imported from the scaffold example. Remember, I clicked on scaffold while opening the Cypress, correct? So if you see in advanced example, I have almost like around 18 to 20 test cases. So let's say who wants to work with actions, like what are actions? Actions is something, let's say drop down, check boxes, radio buttons. So if you click on actions, there are around almost like, if you consider, it may have around 18 to 20 test cases actually. And these are kind of predefined, guys. I have not written this. These are coming by default with the Cypress installation. Okay, so it will execute all the test cases. So here you can see that around 18 to 20 test case got executed, guys. Okay, and these are the command basically which we are going to discuss in detail. Okay, so this is action.cy.js. Okay, next is aliasing. Okay, so how to use cy dot with alias methods, right? How to use those intercept methods, how to wait, how to use wait command. Okay, so these are some practice examples which has been provided by the Cypress people. Clear, everyone? Okay, obviously, if you try to go at one go, you will you might face some issue, but slowly, like once we are clear with some basic command, after that, if you go to advanced example, you will have the clear understanding what exactly this sorry, the commands are doing, guys. Okay, so once we are clear with some basic commands in Cypress, after that I'll show the command, so show the examples in advanced example as. Yeah. Any doubt, any questions, any queries, guys? Okay. So I hope everyone are clear. Let me stop the recording.